Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Rana Namaskritya Nasamseva Devi Saraswati Namaskritya Putrani Nasta Sudati Jamana Tuteva Agavati Uttavastove Bhakti Bhavati Naispiti Srimad Bhagwatam, Canto 1, Chapter 11, Text 8. Namo Sanata Bhavata Smanyadvaya Vivistapanam Apidura Dashanam Emasmita Snikta Rikshanana Ashimi Rupam Bhavasarva Sapagam. Can someone try to do that? Any ladies to try? So translation and forward translation, onions, and translation and forward by the divine grace is compounded. It's the doctor who done to me, Papa Maharaj, good. The Prabhupada, good. The Prabhupada, good. Musicians are glorifying politicians and they go to hell. We glorify Prabhupada and we're becoming a Britain. So what? All the opposition don't want to glorify Prabhupada. All right. So, oh, it is our good Lord. Sanataha to be under the protection of the Master. Bhavata by a good self. Smile as we have begun. Yap Vayana as we are. Jivistapana of the demigods. Happy also. Duradashana. Premasmita. Smile. Snigdha. Affectionate. Nidikshana. Anam. Ananam. Face looking in that mode. Ashaman. Asheman. Let us look. Rupa. Beauty. Tawa. You are. Sarva. All. Subhaga. Auspiciousness. Translation. Oh, it is our good Lord. Now we that we have come again today under your protection by your presence. For your Lordship rarely visits even the denizens of heaven. Now it is possible for us to look into your smiling face, which is full of affectionate glances. We can now see your transcendental form, full of all of patience. Please kindly respond to repeat. Uh, oh, we have come again today under your protection, by your presence, for your Lordship rarely visits even the denizens of heaven. Now it is possible for us to look into your smiling face, which is full of affectionate glances. We can now see your transcendental form, full of all of patience. Who are these? Who are speaking? Who are these people speaking? Who is speaking? Huh? Denizens of Dwaka, Krishna's Krishna's people, Krishna's men and women. So let's listen to the purport. The Lord in his internal personal form can be seen only by the pure devotees. The Lord is never impersonal, but he is the supreme absolute personality of Godhead, possible to be visited by devotional service face to face, which is impossible to be done even by the denizens of higher planets. When Brahmaji and other demigods want to consult Lord Vishnu, the plenary portion of Lord Krishna, we are hearing this? Lord Vishnu, the plenary portion of Krishna. In India, it's so common. People get confused. Some people say Krishna is an incarnation of Lord Vishnu. But if you read the Bhagavad Purana, the different incarnations of Krishna are there. You know, Vishnu is just very far away, far away, far away from Krishna expands to Lord Balaram, and then, you know, different different expansions go on and on. In the Bhagwatam, you see, that's why when people talk, we say, see, you talk nicely, but we based on Guru Sadhu and Sadhu. uh, no quiet. Someone asks you a question, you know, be patient. Take it as a process of learning. It's not that we are reactive. We should be proactive. Someone asks us things. Uh, it's a problem with some of us, even with very advanced devotees, sciences, and all. Someone. I remember a case of one guy. I used to stay in their home in New Rochelle town, New York, and this young man he got married with children, but he's not a devotee. His parents, both parents, are initiated. All of his other brothers and sisters, they are all devotees. So I was discussing with him. I asked him, why? Why you, you know, a different person completely from the family? He's a Christian. He's married to a Christian lady, and he goes to church. And he told me his story. He said when he was small, he used to go to the temple with his parents. So one Sunday, after the class, he asked a question with the Swami who gave the class, the guru, Prabhupada said. And as he asked the question, he was bombarded and chastised so heavily. Then he vowed, from today, nothing to do with Hare Krishna.
That's how, instead of going to the temple. So, you know, sometimes we see how Prabhupada chastises people. And Prabhupada chastises people with good intentions. We can chastise somebody just to bring him down, and people don't like that. Okay, so I go back to this. The Lord is never impersonal, but He is the supreme, absolute personality of God and possible to be visited by devotional service face to face, which is impossible to be done even by the denizens of higher planets. And Brahmaji and other demigods want to consult Lord Vishnu, the plenary portion of Lord Krishna. They have to wait on the shore of the ocean of Mel, where Lord Vishnu is lying on white land, Sweta Dvipa. This ocean of Mel and the Sweta Dvipa planet are the replica of Vaikuntha Loka within the universe. Neither Brahmaji nor the demigods like Indra can enter into this island of Sweta Dvipa. Sweta Dvipa is in this material universe. But they can stand on the shore of the ocean of milk and transmit their message to Lord Vishnu, known as Shiro Dakushai Vishnu. See, everything is so detailed in the Bhagwatam, and people don't want to read, or people are just stuck to their belief system, and don't want to make progress. So we can explain, but what can we do? Can't force them. Therefore, the Lord is rarely seen by them, that the inhabitants of Dwarka, because of their being pure devotees without any change of the material contamination of fruitive activities and impairing philosophical speculation, can see him face to face. By the grace of the Lord, he is the original state of the living entities. This is the original state of the living entities and can be attained by reviving our natural and constitutional state of life, which is discovered by devotional service only. Come again to Miranda, yeah, so when I turn in, see, go away, the Chaitanya Man, then Rutam Kadamaya, Kadati Swakada. Panchakalpataribhyacha, Kasunubhyacha, Patitanam Bhavana. Come on. Vande Sri Krishna Chaitanya, Nityananda Sahodata, Sarudaya Pustapantam Sri Chaitanya. Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Sri Advaita Gadara, Sri Vasaya Sadharma. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Um, After this class, I'm scheduled to leave for another class this morning. So, I hope I'm able to take everything hook, line, and sinker and not fall apart. So, in the purport here, we are meant to understand that the Lord is a person, He is never impossible. Now, there are three phases of realizing the absolute. In the Bhagavatam, it is mentioned, who knows that best? Vedanti Tattva Veda Tattva Yagyanam Advaya. Brahmeti, Paramatmeti, Bhagavaneti, Sajjati. Three phases of realizing the absolute. So if someone says, I believe in Brahma, we should not be reactive. That is one phase of realizing Krishna. Because the Brahman effulgence is all pervasive in the whole material universe. And so if you're highly spiritually perceptive, you can perceive that Brahman presence. Oh, when you become liberated, you can merge into the Brahman effulgence. I mean, the rays emanating from Lord Krishna's body. The impersonalists, one gradation of impersonalists, accept the principle that merging into the Brahman is the be all and end all. But the Vaishnava tradition endorses the fact that Brahman realization or attaining Brahman Jyoti is just that one aspect of realizing the absolute truth. The problem with the Brahman realization is that you fall back to the material world after some time because you want to engage in activities. You are only internal there, but there are no activities. And no matter how happy you are, no matter how blissful you have to engage in activities. Otherwise, you become bored. Imagine if a rich man is locked up in his palace and there are no activities. He become bored. The rich man, he has money. There should be activities. He needs a wife, beautiful wife. He needs cars to ride, right? So if there's no, if there's no activities, you get bored. Then you look for a place to engage in activities. That's what happens when people attain the Brahman effulgence or Brahma Jyoti, which is the preliminary stage of realizing the absolute truth. And even Lord Brahman advised against that realization, that it doesn't pay. He said that people who attain the Brahman realization often they think that they are liberated. But Lord Brahma, in his own description, he said that is vimukta manina. That's a liberation in mind only. Like wishful thinking. Because you feel that you're liberated, but at some point in time, you get bored in the place where there are no place for you. And you want to come down to the material planets to engage in philanthropic activities. Most of the philanthropers, they are actually highly elevated souls, highly elevated souls who made it to the Brahman effulgence and, and they came. Otherwise, tell me how somebody they may not be interested in going to some temple or to some church, but they're just interested in philanthropic activity. They have so much money. You don't get plenty of money just by chance. You must have engaged in so many pious activities in the previous life. So when the jiva uh, leaves the Brahman effulgence and takes up a material form in the material world, uh, they come down to the higher planets, and then from there they come down to the lower planets to engage in philanthropic activities. That is the root of philanthropy. People don't become philanthropists just for the sake of philanthropy. It's from the understanding that they had accumulated lots and lots of highest credit. They had attained those heights, but now they have no activities over there and they have to come down. They are so much endowed with opulence. What to do? You see the people of the world suffering, so they give out, they dole out. So in the words of Lord Brahma, he said, "Yen Vidaksha Vimukta Pawasa Baba, I will sue the Buddha. I will sue the Buddha. Impure intelligence. If someone thinks that they are liberated, Lord Brahma says, they have impure intelligence." So it's amazing how the Bhagwatam gives graphic details of the three phases of realizing the absolute truth. And the devotees have this wonderful opportunity to digest this transcendental knowledge and be able to share the same with others. So here, the residents of Dwarka, they are so excited that Lord Krishna has come back. Imagine somebody you love so dearly, so much. They are away. Later they come back. How happy you could be. And this is the supreme personality of Godhead. And the residents of Dwarka, they know Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead. You don't have Krishna. Krishna lives with them there. Can you see how the Dwarka Vasis, how fortunate they are? But they didn't just acquire the fortune by chance. They engaged in devotional service. Well, you may say, I don't want to be serious with devotional service because I don't really want to see Krishna anyway. All right, that's a good reason. But in the material world, we are suffering, you know? We are suffering, no matter how rich you are. Look, President Trump, the ex-president of the United States, some of you know what is happening to him, right? He's a billionaire. For you to be a billionaire in the United States, how much is the $1 to the rupee now? So imagine someone is a billionaire in the United States with different estates all over the world, establishments, companies, financial resources all over the place. He had power, financial power as a businessman. But, you know, the, no one is associated with power in this world. No one says, all right, someone becomes the president, and next time he wants to become the person in charge of United Nations. They're not tired. Power is like intoxication. No one drinks. And then he says, I'm fully intoxicated now, I'm all right. Even when they're dying, they need more. They need more. So, Trump is a problem. Although he had all the opulences, all the power. And now, very soon, he'll be a jailbird. From being the president of the United States, a jailbird. Now he has over 50 charges. Most of them are felonies. So, if you say, well, I don't want to see Krishna, I don't want to be serious with my spiritual life, if even you become the president of the United States, the next moment you could be tried in court for offenses, for crimes. And then you be in anxiety, you're ready to go to jail. So, material world. And what I'm saying, I'm trying to establish the fact that the material world is dualistic. You might be in the highest position today, but the next day you will be in prison. And so, the residents of Dwarka, they don't have this type of duality, this type of fear. No. Krishna is there protecting them. They are not involved in sinful activities. Dualities are forced on all because of sinful reactions. And so, the residents of Dwarka, they're highly blessed. In Dwarka, we have the wives of Lord Krishna, 16,108 wives with different palaces, 16,108 palaces. We have one wife, and even to build one palace is a problem. Even, you know, uh, to build a bungalow is a problem. It's very expensive. Is it not? Not to speak of a balance. So imagine when you are a resident of Dwarka, you have the opportunity to see Krishna. Huh? I mean, it's like, someone is coming to a temple. I've seen it. I don't know whether you do this with other people, but then, the devotees, they come out and they play. They're so excited. They're singing and dancing because the guest is coming. So you do this. Talk about the legend of Droga. How they could be so excited that Krishna is coming back, returning home. And so here they are expressing their gratitude. They're expressing their great fortune. Oh, it is our good luck that we have come again today under your protection by your presence. The Lord gives protection to his devotees. So it's a matter of trying to be a devotee of Lord Krishna. He will provide the protection. And in the expression in this text, it's mentioned that the Lord really did visit the denizens of heaven, but he lives with Dwarkavasis, and he was so anxious to return to Dwarka. Can you imagine the great fortune of the Dwarkavasis? But they are appreciative of their great fortune, appreciative thinking, appreciative mindset. Sometimes we get so much from Krishna, we get so much from the Guru, but we don't have a sense of appreciation for what we have. And I will go back complaining. Oh, Krishna, you've not done this to me. You've not provided this for me. But we refuse to count our blessings. That is lack of appreciation. So there is a lot to learn from the Dwarkavasis. They were appreciative thinkers. They had appreciative mindset. So they were appreciating their good fortune. And their good fortune was made possible by Lord Krishna. So even our great fortune to be involved in devotional service is made possible by Prabhupada and by Lord Krishna. So we should be grateful. Not everybody in Calcutta is living or eating veg. See, sometimes I bought Air India and I'm surprised how the air mistresses, they go around and they ask them, what do you want, veg or non-veg? And majority of the people, they say non-veg. So it's not even just to be a vegetarian, it's a big deal. Not to speak of cultivating devotional service. So you are exceptionally fortunate. And we should appreciate our fortune that Prabhupada has provided an opportunity for us to become involved in devotional service. And it's mentioned in the purport here that Krishna can be seen. Anybody here can meet Krishna face to face through devotional practice. I want to become perfected. Bhaktisiddhanta, Prabhupada Guru, he said, don't try to see Krishna. Work so hard that Krishna sees you. So if we cultivate devotional practice intensely, Krishna becomes manifest to us. I remember one time, one of Prabhupada's pastimes, he was in his quarters outside, I think outside the veranda chanting. And then, he saw Krishna, just coming on the lawn, walking towards him and playing his flute. And Prabhupada started crying. Why was he crying? One disciple saw him crying. So he asked, he came to see Prabhupada, and then he saw Prabhupada crying. And he said, Sir Prabhupada, what is the problem? Prabhupada said, see, I'm crying. See the great fortune that my spiritual master gave to me. And the great fortune that my spiritual master gave to me enabled me to have a vision of Krishna. Krishna just came here. So you can see Krishna. Anyone can see Krishna. Sometimes people ask, can you show me God? But do you have the eyes to see God? In the Brahma Samhita, it is mentioned that we have to have the salve of love. The salve of love to be able to see Krishna. So we're not just talking something that is vague. It's something proper. This is not Purana. It's not a Puranic story. It's just a recent years ago. He will see Krishna. I remember on one other occasion, uh, one devotee, in America, people are very inquisitive. So one devotee had approached Prabhupada and said, so what is Super Soul doing in my heart now? Okay. So Prabhupada looked, he said, he's sitting down. He said, he's sitting down. So the pure devotee say Krishna. Our devotional life is very practical. And if just by cultivating devotional life, your whole taste for material activities changes. The things you do that are not devotional, that are not pro-devotional culture, if you perform devotional service for some time, you become disinterested in those things. And sometimes that mood also affects some devotees' professional development. Now, whereby they think, oh, I just give up everything and then move into the temple. No, we will not allow that. I remember one devotee, he told me, now he's the U.S. diplomat to South Africa. So he told me a story. When he was doing his undergraduate studies, his university was just close to one ISKCON temple. So then, that time also some devotees were like encouraging him, oh, just give up your studies and move into the temple. But then, so he met the president one day and told the president, I just want to give up the studies and then move into the temple. The president said, on my dead body. The president said, on my dead body. You do that on my dead body. In other words, I will not allow you to do that. You go and finish your studies, and you'll be more useful for your family, and for the movement, and for yourself. So he went ahead. A very smart guy. He got his PhD when he was like in his middle 20s, because he entered university at a very before he was 18. He was super smart. So he told me, sorry, I remember what I did to that guy when he was doing his PhD. Again, that spirit of devotional culture was there. And so he wanted to stop the PhD to just move to Vrindavan. So he told me, and then I said, we're good friends. He's also a disciple of Bhakti Swami. But in the past years, I used to stay in his house. It's because his wife is my disciple now. So when he was doing his PhD, he told me he wants to move to Vrindavan. He wants to just stop the PhD and then move to Vrindavan. I said, oh, that time I was the president of the temple where he used to attend. So I said, oh, this is a very good plan. But you know what? When if you don't complete your PhD before you move to any place, anywhere you see me, behave as if you don't know me. So he said, "Beyond I finish it." Yeah. So when you have this devotional spirit, it could make you to be disinterested even in professional development. But your professional development, according to Upanishad, it is meant to be performed alongside with your devotional activities, side by side. It's mentioned in the Upanishad, nations and science side by side. Don't know what professional development and devotional culture side by side. One devotee, he told me before I came to Calcutta, we had a program. One of my friends, uh, his wife is from Switzerland. He's an Indian boy, and we built a very big house, nice house, in Manipur. So he invited me to come for the housewarming ceremony. So we were there. That's after the program and after the prasad. But I was discussing with some guys there. I mean, majority of them, because the white is a white, so majority, practically all the people who were there were whites, all except for one architect and his wife who were from Bangladesh, who was staying in America. So one of these devotees, he told me a story, and he said, "Oh, his Guru Maharaj told people, and he was there. He said, "You see this boy? He ruined his life. Yeah. He ruined his life. How? Because when he was studying, his Guru Maharaj told him, give him studies and come be a brahmachari." Yeah. This was going on. If you created damage, it's so difficult to repair. Yes, Prabhupada was doing that, but he was very selective. Prabhupada had a sustainable and strategic vision. Prabhupada was in the super soul. Krishna will visit Prabhupada. So it's a different personality completely. We cannot imitate Prabhupada. So Prabhupada, I know some of his disciples, B. Krishna, he wasn't, I think he was in the university, and he asked him, either B. Krishna or somebody else, he asked him to stop and join the temple. Uh, Ananda, he was doing a program at Berkeley. Berkeley is one of the highly revered universities in California and even in the US. Although it's not an Ivy League, but it's one of the, you know, prestigious universities in California, in the West Coast. So Nityananda Maharaj wanted to stop his studies to just join Prabhupada. And Prabhupada told him, no, you cannot stop. You must finish. Your skills are very important for our movement. The same person went ahead, who got a PhD, and he was the major architect in the translations and purpose of the Srimad Bhagavatam. So Prabhupada is such a better avatar. He knows what to do at the right time. And therefore, for us, we have to follow the scriptures. So the scripture says, cultivate devotional service along with the professional development side by side. We cannot tell somebody who is schooling to say, oh, leave your studies, come. I also encountered one of the devotee in Florida. That was a disciple of Prabhupada. And he said, when he met devotees, he was from South America. And he was driving me from Eritrea back to Gainesville, to the East community. And he shared his story. He told me how he was doing medicine in the university. And the devotees he met coerced him to leave his studies, move him to be a brahmachari. So eventually he succumbed to it, but he created a big problem in his family, between himself and his family and the devotees. But he told me, but see, I couldn't sustain brahmacharya life. I'm married now. I don't have skills. That is Papa decided. That is Papa decided. So don't get crazy to think, why is this Swami talking so much about, devotees, developing professionally? Other Swamis, they come, they just tell us, chant Hare Krishna and be happy. Oh, yeah. So, we want to serve Krishna, we want to become devotees of Krishna, but we can be so much carried away that we don't I speak as one young boy, one of the young boys here came to me, he was complaining his grades are going down. I said, see, if your grades, if you don't become serious with your studies, I'll tell the authorities to throw you out, to go for you to send you back to your home. Because it means you are not serious with your studies. Yeah, we should be upfront to tell people that they need to be serious with their professional development. In fact, I have a condition. If you don't have skills, please don't don't even dream of approaching me for initiation because it means you don't have plans for your life. I remember one devotee in New York. He had approached me. I want to be your disciple. I said, no problem. So he was living in the temple. So I said, uh, what what do you want to do with your life in the future? You want to be a seance, or you want to be a brahmachari for life, or you want to be a grihastha? He said he would like to marry in the future. I said, oh, good. So what is your highest education? What are your skills? He said he dropped out from college. I said, you want me to be a guru? He said, yes. I said, go back and finish your college degree. When you finish, you're still interested in me, then you come to me, then we'll discuss about you being my disciple. I'm sorry that, I can't get people into trouble. Krishna is great. Krishna is amazing. I remember also one young lady, and that was in South Africa, Indian body. The parents are not devotees, but one of our brothers was the devotee. And she did so well in her final year in high school. So she was supposed to go and study pharmacy. And then some of the devotees, they convinced her that, pharmacy is too much of bookwork. She should just choose to do a simple thing. She should just live in the temple and choose to do a simple thing. So I said, so she came to me and said, told me, I said, no problem. Whatever you decide is fine. But discuss with your parents if this is what your parents want. So she discussed with our parents, and then the parents said they want her to go and do with the pharmacy. I said, if you don't follow what your parents have said, forget about it. See, the point is, I'm not looking for disciples. I'm after your future. But yeah, I'm after your devotion, your sustainable devotion, and your future. Yeah. So go on, try it. So it is important for devotees to understand that, yeah, Krishna is intoxicating. Krishna consciousness is intoxicating. So Krishna could, yeah, the intensity of your Krishna consciousness cultivation could make you feel, let me just give up everything. Let me just give up my studies. I remember, I don't know when I told you this story. In Chicago, there was one Indian boy who was doing his PhD. I went to Chicago, he came to me, he said he wanted to stop his studies. I said, all right, understand one thing. Your parents sent you all the way from India to Chicago to study, to do a PhD. So your parents set a goal for you. So don't disappoint your parents. sympathize with your parents, and give them the award that they want from you. You finish a PhD and you do anything you want with your life. They'll be fine with it. They want that reputation. That's why they send you to America. So he stayed put and finished his program. So yeah, devotional service is very intoxicating. You taste it and you want to, like, it's so hard that sometimes some management, they don't understand the value of sustainable development socially and spiritually for the devotees. And then, they allow the devotee to make some wrong decisions, wrong choices. But the residents of Dwarka, they were so excited. Yeah, who could be more fortunate than the residents of Dwarka? They met in Krishna. Krishna lives with them. Krishna eats with them. Krishna sleeps with them. This is the value, the benefit of the cultivated devotional service. You can go and be with Krishna. You don't need to come back to Calcutta. I know you will say, some people will say, oh, this is where Prabhupada was born. I mean, I would like to come back here. No problem. But there's limited better than that in the material world. That's duality in the material world. So Krishna consciousness is very sweet. Even chanting the holy names of Lord Krishna could be so sweet that you may not want to eat. But we have to keep body and soul together. So we should try to eat. To have some energy to be able to function. Any comments or questions? Yes. Oh, it is our great love that we have come again today under your protection, by your presence. For your Lordship really visits even the denizens of heaven. Now it is possible for us to look into your smiling face, smiling face. So people don't like people frowning at them, right? Imagine you have a friend, and he's always frowning when they see you. You will try to dissociate yourself. It means they're not happy with you. Krishna is happy with his devotees. So each time he meets his devotees, he's smiling. That is a friendly relationship that is endemic in that type of uh, rapport. A smiling face which is full of affectionate glances. Someone loves you, the way they look at you is different. If someone hates you, the way they look at you is different. It's the same eyes that they use, but it's different. The way the affectionate look. Sometimes it's described by the Acharya. Krishna's look on his devotees is described as sidelong glances. And the devotee gets really motivated because inspired by the sidelong glances of Krishna. So, residents of Dwarka are very special people. And the purport here is mentioned how Lord Krishna is not available for everybody, even for the demigods. When they need to consult Vishnu for anything, they go to the shore of the ocean, of the Milk Ocean, and they make their prayers. And the Lord will respond. It's not that you call them to his residence and say, all right, sit down, my great demigods. But they make their prayers by the shore of the Milk Ocean, and the Lord will respond by a voice. Krishna doesn't just show himself to anybody. But the residents of Dwarka living with Krishna. Right. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Srimad Bhagwatam ki jai. You have a question? Okay. You're talking about we and also we have different things like
then how does that make it complex? That is our duty. That is it.
Oh, yeah. The thing is that if someone is planning to, especially when someone is planning to develop a household, it is very challenging. And therefore, they shouldn't say, well, this is too challenging a program to pursue. There's so much of energy that is required to be absorbed in uh, this professional development. So I shouldn't. Because when when we understand that Lord Krishna requires of us yet karosi yadasana, yet juhosi yadasana. Whatever we do, we should do it as an offering to Him. If we understand that we are not the doer, and this is not to give us a sense of pleasure, but as an offering to Lord Krishna, we use the results in service to Lord Krishna. Then we we can do anything. I'll give an example. So when I was doing my PhD, we had a program, we have a course, quantitative reasoning and analysis, statistics. I forgot when I studied statistics last. It was so difficult. There were 11 students in that class. At the end, all of the students failed. I was the only person who passed the class. And I got A, 90 plus. Why? Each time, because I know it was very difficult. And this is the instruction of my guru to me. Vasudeva, go and get a PhD. So I didn't say, well, statistics, it's so difficult. Why did guru ask me to do this? I knew it was very difficult. Each time I want to read that course, I want to read the books, I'll pray to Krishna. Hello, Krishna. See, I don't know nothing here. Please guide me. I like sharing it so that people don't think that life is so easy. Just because you're a devotee, life becomes so easy. No. And so I endeavored. I was reading repeatedly. I read those courseworks repeatedly, the books repeatedly, until I grasped the things right in my hand, in my palm. And that made a difference. We should rely on Krishna. We should be serious, be determined about our pursuit. Just like we're determined about devotional service, we wake up every day early in the morning. That is because of determination. We wake up to chant Krishna's names early in the morning. That is determination. So our professional development also, we should put in similar effort, similar determination. There is no professional development that is easy. Boy, there is no professional development that is easy. If someone tells you one professional development is easy, one work is easy, then they are not very serious with their work. But yeah, if you really want to be successful in your career, you have to be very serious. And it takes a lot of sacrifice. It requires a focus, effectively managing your time. That then, no matter what difficulties you face, you will be able to scale through. The problem is we waste so much of time on other things, and then we complain about the job, and then we complain about the studies. We have to have a focus, and it will pay off in the future. Your preaching programs become easier when, for instance, you are so much engaged in professional development that you excel. And you get, I remember one guy, I visited his home in Ohio in the United States. It's an Indian guy. And so he had three masters. So I chastised him. I said, why you have three masters? You should have just gone ahead to go to PhD. He said, no, 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 Maharaj. You see, all of these three masters, they're related to my work. And now they made me a director. To get three masters is not a joke. He said, but now they made him a director. So he doesn't go to work, he doesn't go to office, he just stays at home and he calls, you know, the different offices and tell, engage somebody, go to this country, engage somebody, go to this state. And then he does corporate preaching. And then he said, then he just has the time for himself and his family and, he engages in his corporate preaching. But to get three masters, it's not cheap. But he told me why he did that. And the result was so clear. Determination is the watchword. Being reliant on Krishna, being prayerful for direction from Lord Krishna, and having a focus on what we do. Does it address your point? Yes. Yeah. If we are having association with the devotees, if we are reading Prabhupada's books, we will not be swayed. Remember, there are devotees who really live in opulence. Pundarik Vijayanidhi was a typical example. To the point that when Gadara Pandit went to visit him with Mukunda, Gadara Pandit was skeptical. How could a pure devotee live in this type of opulence? He thought. And Mukunda understood the mind of Gadara Pandit. So he recited some verses from the Bhagwatam. And when Pundarik Vijayanidhi had, he swooned. And Gadara Pandit almost killed himself. He said, oh, I committed an offense. So we should seek for protection. There is nothing wrong in seeking for protection from Lord Krishna. We read prayers of Lord Queen 20. We read even the Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna interaction with Arjuna. Arjuna was begging for clarification. He was begging for directions. Go take me there, Krishna. Take me there. So life is not easy, okay? And sometimes people think that professional development is too difficult. I just stop everything. I'm moving to the temple. Okay, no problem. And sometimes people think devotional life is so difficult, let me just stop. No, we should create a balance. And that balance comes with effectively managing our 24 hours. When we chant it every day, we become purified and things will become very clear for us. So we should not be afraid because Krishna, look at what the Bhakti are saying. We're so happy, we're lucky. We are under your protection. The devotee of Lord Krishna is under Krishna's protection. Krishna gave that promise. If you dedicate your life to him, he gives you protection. Because you have given up all of that type of activities, dedicating your life to Krishna. Sarvadana, Haritija, Mamlika, Pranam, Atman, Sarvati, Mukshinisha. So we should not be afraid. Krishna has given his promise. And look at the example of the Dwakavas. They are expressing their protection. How Krishna is protected. They are talking about their lived experience. Someone tells you about their lived experience, not a third party evidence. You should take their lived experience is what is accepted in the law court as evidence. If you go and tell the judge, such and such person told me like this, that's not lived experience. Research, lived experience is phenomenological approach to qualitative research. And it's highly valued. because you have lived the experience. The Dwaka verses, they're talking about their lived experience. How Krishna has protected them. They are enthused, they're happy about that protection. How Krishna glances on them and they're filled with eternalized happiness. We say chant and be happy. Chant and be protected also. But yeah, because the chanting is the worship of Lord Krishna in the age of Kali. All right. Srila Prabhupada. Okay. I'm sorry, I have to leave for another program, you know. All right. Later. I have to leave now. Okay, you can ask a question. Like your answer, like in your life, in your case, what first plan? How does it put like that part? Because when you pursue our life, if sending him round, give up the process that you would, and we are thinking we are going to life. When you use the goal, then no longer remains like that happens with many things that they are in the they are doing what and are no at no degree that becomes then what that will be a thing. Yeah, that is as a result of not effectively managing their time. See, I remember also when I was doing the doctoral program, there were some of these doctoral students. Some of them were married, and even members of their family. See the funny thing. Even members of the family, they will not give their time. They lock up their rooms, no entry, just because they're doing PhD. But you know what? You cannot isolate. Yeah, we are social animals. We cannot be isolated. We cannot live in isolated islands. So the same people who lock up themselves, they don't want their family members to reach out to them. They go out for connections. So as I said, what is the value of all this pretension? You can give quality time to your family members and go back to your studies. I remember also when I was doing my doctoral program, one of my friends, he's a doctor, he told me, he's a devotee, he said, just stop communicating with all these devotees and focus on your studies. I said, I'm sorry, I cannot do that. Yeah, so the way people look at professional life, sometimes they go to the extreme, that's still fine. But the snag, the problem is people fail to effectively utilize their 24 hours. You can't say you don't want to talk to anybody. You can't say you don't want to chant Hare Krishna because you're engaged in professional development. You don't. And I like to meet people who say, I don't have the time because I'm very busy. I don't know when I told you this story. In Michigan, I met one Indian boy. He finished his MBBS in India. He got scholarship to do MD in America. And he got a to me, so he was traveling with me in Michigan. And so when we were going to one program, he said, Maharaj, can I ask a question? I said, you're my friend. Feel free to ask me any question. So he said, we medical doctors, we don't have the time to chat. So we dissect his 24 hours. And then we find that there's a chunk of time that he couldn't account for. I literally almost like cried. Said, Maharaj, I'm sorry. Forgive me. I didn't use my time properly. So when I'm meeting with people who say, because of my professional development, I don't have the time to chant Hare Krishna. Okay, you're too busy. Let's see how you use the 24 hours. All right, thank you. Yes, you wanted to ask a question? Haribo, what's the question? You forgot? All right, no problem. Next time. Okay. Srila Prabhupada, okay. Srimad Bhagwatam, okay.
Thank you for participating on the Bhagavatam class. Thank you, sir.